Hi guys. So it is the second day of this Venus in retrograde. And I don't know how you guys are feeling about this. um, but I mean, I tend to feel things. I'm pretty sensitive to energy, so I tend to feel things sometimes even like a week before, especially like when Mercury in retrograde happens. My like communication and my like my transportation gets all messed up. So I was actually feeling this probably a little earlier. Um, so I thought I would just come in here and maybe just talk about what's going on. Um, Maybe play with some cards. Uh, these are helpful to help us direct our energies. So you have been noticing this Venus in retrograde. I've been reading about it more in everybody's posts and everything. And something new that I learned about Venus is that Venus is actually, it rules beauty, art, relationships, especially romantic relationships, partnerships, and finances, but it also rules your self-esteem, which is really important, right? And right now we are Venus in Scorpio, so it's already a very introspective, intense sign. And then it being retrograde, anytime we are going retrograde, we are obviously going inside introspective, right? With the qualities of that planet, especially. So you'll notice on a lot of social media, this Venus in retrograde says you'll be thinking about past relationship, possibly bumping into or hearing from maybe exes, ex-friends, ex-lovers, that kind of thing. Not necessarily. You might just be thinking about them, and there might just be something that triggers a lesson or even a revelation about a past thing, a past relationship, because I was just thinking about relationships. I mean, it could even be something about your family relationship. Interesting enough, we are also in the season of Libra, which is all about relationships. So that's what's in the sun right now. And then coming up on Monday, we have a new moon in Libra, which then will give us a sun and moon in Libra. And as I've been saying before, if you have strong Libra placements, you are a very diplomatic person and you're very sweet. Well, I guess not every Libra is sweet. They don't have to be sweet. I find they're very sweet. They're ruled by Venus. Venus also rules Taurus. But originally, Gaia, which is Mother Earth, rules Taurus. And quite honestly, I feel like that fits it better because it is a very loving energy. But Taurus being an Earth sign, I feel like Gaia works better with Taurus. But for right now in modern astrology, yes, it also rules Taurus. So it's really interesting. So at the end of this month, it will be going into Libra, Venus in Libra. And so you'll be seeing that shift from a very introspective Scorpio transformative energy in Venus to then a outward look at your partnerships even more so, right? Because it's in the sign that it rules. So you might be feeling anxiety. You might find yourself not wanting to please others. So Libras are they love balance, and they're the scales. That's literally their symbol. And they love to balance a situation in order to make themselves at peace. So someone was saying to me the other day, they were like, well, my brother is a Libra, but he's kind of selfish. So that doesn't really sound like him. And I was like, yes, but is he balancing he's balancing for himself then? So I would say, yes, a Libra is always balancing. Every sign can be a jerk. I mean, we have these qualities that we come in with, and you can decide what you want to do with that energy and those qualities, right? So I find that Libras are coming from a place of wanting a partnership to be strong. So because of that, I do find that they are people pleasers and they tend to forget about themselves. But their whole point in doing that is to come back around to themselves, to feel balanced. So like Libras are great in group situations, but as they are being charming and talking to the whole room, they are also look attractive to everybody, right? So yes. So yeah, so I am just asking, let me see. So I'm wondering what can help us here. I'm sticking with these. So I'm working with these goddess cards right now. This is what I decided to pick up first today. So these guys are, woo, where's the camera? Goddess guidance oracle cards. So let me see. What is something we can ask? So let's just see. There's going to be a lot happening internally. So let's see what we can. What's the energy that can help us be more introspective and more balanced, right? Because it's Libra season. So I'll take one out here, and then I'll take another one. This other deck, if you guys want to know, this other deck is energy oracle cards. And I'll just take one of these and see what we get from here. You know what? What do we have? So this is going to go from October 5th to November 15th. So maybe we can do, what's the energy for next week? How many weeks do we have? 1, 2, 3. Well, we have a lot of weeks. So maybe the energy that's coming up in the next week, that's going to help us. Yeah. If you've never watched me before, you'll notice I have a little parrot in the background. He's being very nice and quiet right now. But he sometimes will get excited and start talking and everything. So I guess he's quiet right now. All right, cool. Oh, well, this is kind of perfect. Let me see. Backwards. Okay. Well, this kind of makes sense. All right. So from the goddess card, we have the goddess deck. We have Pel. Let's see if you guys can see that. So this is all about divine passion, right? And this card says, be honest with yourself. What is your heart's true desire? And I want to say that this goddess, we'll look her up. I knew it. She's a Hawaiian goddess. She's a Hawaiian goddess. And let me see. She basically helps you get in touch with your true desire and by purifying it with the fire. So as you can see, volcano, so a volcano goddess, right? So when we go through fire, be very transformative. I feel like this is the Scorpio energy. So this is the Venus in Scorpio. And as I was saying, I've said this before, but often Scorpios are associated with the scorpion. That is their symbol. But the highest, most spiritual side of Scorpio is Phoenix, the Phoenix, right? So if you've heard of the Phoenix, also she's an X-Men too. When I'm forgetting her name, but she becomes the Phoenix. When she becomes the Phoenix, literally it's that bird that burns down, and then when it burns and like you think it's destroyed, it comes up even stronger and stronger and more powerful. So I think this is really talking about this Scorpio energy, that if you, as you can just go as deep as you can during this transit. You have until November 15th. But you have until, like, I want to say October 31st, I think is when it's switching from Scorpio to Libra. I'll check that when we get closer, but I'm pretty sure that's when it's switching from Scorpio to Libra. So you have about like 3 weeks to really use this beautiful, intense, sexual Scorpio energy and really dive into like the darkness of what are those negative patterns? What are those things that we can work on better, right? And yes, maybe that means it's bringing up past relationships and past patterns and past ways of dealing with others, right? Because we have this Libra season. How am I relating to the other? How am I in partnerships? How am I in partnership at home? How am I in partnerships at work? How am I in partnerships in romance, family, friends? Really allowing yourself to go in deep and see that shadow side, right? So we're in the shadow side of Venus. Venus is all about pleasing, but now that she's in retrograde, she doesn't care about pleasing as much. She needs to take care of herself. She needs to look within, self-care, self-nurturing, which is always your number one. Now, it's not saying that you're making yourself number one in that selfish, egotistical way. It's saying that you cannot serve others unless you fill your cup first. I cannot pour you a glass of water if I have no water. Right? So, I mean, I'm literally an Aquarius. So, I mean, we are the water bearers. So I cannot give you I cannot pour water out for you, literally, of my energy if I do not refill it somewhere. And if you even see that's the Aquarius symbol, is the water bearer. So it's usually a woman or a man, like by a pond, pouring water out, because but you see the balance of, like, it's not they're just pouring water from anywhere. They actually have that reserve of water that they have to keep on coming back to. So really remembering that what is your heart's true desire, which is actually very Leo energy that we just came out of in August, right? What is it that I truly desire in my life? I have a Leo moon, so I have that Leo energy in my world. But it is really, I think it's really important. I think the Leo energy of reminding yourself, what do I truly desire? If we can be true to our heart's desire, why would you not want to be true to anything else? Why would you want to be true to someone else's heart's desire? Because then you will feel empty and you will drain yourself. So really using this, this idea of filling up your cup so that you are able to serve others. And this is our next card, which I'm talking about it anyways. But so this other card is called Angel of Balance, which I'm already talking about this. It's Libra season. Libras are obsessed with balancing everything because that is just their way. But balance is very important. And let's see, this is really, and I always pay attention to numbers, 4 and 8, if those numbers mean anything to you. Anytime you are looking at a reader or looking at cards for yourself, even on your own, yes, you have these wonderful booklets that will tell you stuff, but really make sure that you are looking at anything that stands out to you. Like, for instance, this is a little girl, so if you have kids, that might be important to you. You can see that she's holding, oh, I didn't even see this actually, I'm looking at it now. There's pyramids in the background. Yeah, there's so much happening here. Actually, if you look at this, this is interesting. That is almost a new moon. If you see that sliver, whoops, wrong side. You see that sliver of moon, that is probably what the moon looks like currently, quite honestly, because new moons are quite dark, and the new moon is on Monday. So interesting enough, we are at the waning of the moon right now. So this is actually interesting in that perspective too. Yeah, so really balancing out your divine passion. Ooh, there we go. So really remembering this, right? Because of course you can, be too much in what is my heart's desire and not think of anyone else. There are, I always think of it as the healer perspective. So for me, excuse me, for me, I find I am definitely always more concerned about the other than myself. So I'm always having to go back to myself, but you could always be the other way as well. But really thinking these two, that's the two most important things that I was already even talking about. It's amazing how these cards come out the way they're supposed to. But really being honest with yourself, that honesty is really something that is hitting me from this card as well. If you are not honest with yourself during this transit, that is supposed to be you looking at yourself and how you love and how you see yourself, you see your self-worth, then it's not that you're gonna like get cursed or anything. It's just that you're gonna have more work to do if you don't look at it now, because this is the perfect timing to be looking at this, because the energies are already directing you to that. So if you're finding that you are ignoring yourself and you are ignoring these signs of toxic relationships or situations that you are just not looking at because you're not being true to yourself, and if things just don't feel balanced in your life, know that you're gonna get, your ass is gonna get kicked. To look at it more, right? Let's see what else we got. I'll just pick two more. And this is very Scorpio energy, because it's Scorpio is all about death and rebirth as well, again with the Phoenix theme. Scorpios aren't afraid to go in deep. They're not afraid to really get to the heart of the matter. And if that is the energy that we are feeling, because Venus is in Scorpio, it was been in Scorpio for a couple weeks before this, right? But when it goes retrograde, we feel it more, because it's flipped it around, right? So if things aren't, if something in your life is not balanced, or not what's the word I'm thinking of, not, you can see when things are out of place, right? So when things are retrograde, we notice when they're out of place more. Yes, thank you, that makes sense. Okay, let's see what else we have here. And obviously we are in October, like Halloween's the end of this month. We have a lot of spiritual energy happening, with the veil being so thin at the end of the month with Halloween, Hallows Eve, all that kind of stuff, right? So this is a very magical and very, I don't want to say spiritual, but it's a very intense energy now. So really take advantage of that and use it to use it to your advantage. in turning to yourself and working on yourself and the most important relationships in your life. Let's see. Oh, I was just thinking of this card. It's so funny. Okay, is that supposed to be reversed? All right. I always check if they're supposed to be reversed. Sometimes I read reverse, sometimes I don't. All right. So the temple path. So this one, so I pulled this one first. This is from the Energy Oracle cards, the temple path. So this is I really love this card. 12 means anything to you, or even if you know your life path number. Actually, 12 wouldn't be your life path because 11's like the highest you can go. You can do 11, you can do 33, but this would actually, if it was a life path number, it would go to 3. So with numerology, you can take that as a 3 because I think 11's usually the highest. But that's only for numerology. So I'm so used to doing it that I'm always like breaking down numbers. So the temple path. Now, this I feel like is a very self-discovery. You're on the path of self-discovery. It's lighting the way for you to really discover who you are at this time. And again, this is what I'm saying. We're really using this energy. Take advantage of these energies. And the more I have been delving into this astrology and these moon cycles, the more helpful it is to really know what the energy is in the air. Like if Venus is in my sign, I'm an Aquarius. So if Venus is in Aquarius, then I know that that's going to make me more attractive. So that's good if I'm looking for a promotion or a date or an audition, an interview, that kind of thing. Not that I wouldn't go or do those things. Obviously, if you want a promotion, you want an interview, you do it when the time is right, when you get it, of course. But just know that is, it's good to know when things like that happen. So if you have a choice of like, oh, wait, now it's Venus in my sign? Perfect, So right now it's Venus in Scorpio. So Venus in Scorpio is making all these Scorpios even more attractive and more sexy than they already are. Which, touche, Scorpio. You always know a Scorpio because they're just very intense and sexy, usually. Charming. The next card is actually True Love, and interesting enough, I swear to you, I was just shuffling and I thought of this card, and I was like, why would I think of this card? And then this is the one that ends up coming out. So, you know of the story Camelot? This deck actually makes Guinevere the goddess of true love. And if you know the story, she actually, oh, this isn't, yes, I'm getting this. Okay. So the story of Camelot is that this King Arthur married Guinevere, and then he had a round table of knights, which meant they were all equal, and made himself equal as well, which was like a huge move on his part because it made everybody have their own, more power within his round of knights, right? His group of knights? I'm not sure what they call them. I don't know my Arthur books that well, or this time period that well. But yes, you know what I'm saying. Their group of knights, I'm sure there's a better word for that. Their group of knights all could have a fair say, and they could, and know that they could be heard by their king because they were the round table of knights. Now, one of the men at his round table, his name was Lancelot, and he ends up falling in love with Guinevere and the queen, and she also falls in love with him as well, depending on the version that you've seen. You know, the musical, which is one of I think it's my mom's favorite musical, Camelot, kind of depicts an older King Arthur. Is more of an arranged marriage. she loves him, but she's not like fiery passionate about him, that kind of a thing. There are other versions where it's not necessarily arranged marriage, but it is more of like a friendship, respect marriage. But with Lancelot, it is her passionate, true love, I would say divine partner, right? And I said it's very perfect because we are dealing with Venus in retrograde, and we're really trying to balance what we truly love, what is our heart's desire, balancing what we truly love, what I just said. Literally just two cards. So what it says here is the romantic stirrings in your heart have propelled the universe to deliver great love to you. Now, if this is something, if you are in the process, or if you are dreaming, wishing about true love, I would say this is the perfect time for you to get yourself ready for it, because you can be introspective in how am I manifesting that true love to be attracted to me? Do I take care of myself? Do I love myself? Am I being positive? That kind of thing. Now, also, I actually earlier did a divine timing video, which is now up on YouTube. You can check out on my YouTube channel. But I was also saying that when you're trying to wish and manifest something, one of the best things, and I know it sounds strange, it almost sounds like the opposite you should do, but the best thing to do when you're actually wanting something is to detach from it. Because if we try to control, like I want this now, and I want this now, and I need this now, and it's making me anxious, and it's keeping me up at night, and I think especially with love, and if you really true love and looking for that divine partner, divine counterpart, if you are truly wanting that balanced relationship in your life, you really have to find that balance within. And I think that, I just find this such a beautiful card too. And I find that if the more you work on yourself, the more you're able to attract the love you give. You're attracting from the love that you're giving yourself to attracting love the other, right? And this being Libra season and all about partnerships, and all about romance and self-esteem and finances too. I mean, I love that finances is just thrown in there as Venus. But I mean, if you think about it, if you do not love and appreciate abundance and money and how you get money, then how can you attract abundance? Which abundance is happiness, right? So abundance is happiness, finance, like money, love, all that great stuff, right? What makes you happy? Abundance is happy, right? Happiness. And I think it is really important, even if you have that divine partnership already and you're just kind of fine-tuning it, like how can we make this better? Or if your divine partner is going through some stuff, and you are just there to support them, remember that it's always a learning experience. You know, you can have that perfect dream life and that perfect person in your part, whatever, perfect for yourself. No, nothing's perfect, but perfect for yourself and what you wished for. But if you are not happy within, and if you're not truly in love with yourself, right, then you really can't enjoy that love, even if you have that divine counterpart, amazing person in your life. How can you got to be able to be grateful for it and appreciate it. So yes, love, romantic love. Guinevere's on top of it. She's the goddess of true love. But anytime love comes up, you really have to go back to yourself, because you can't love from an empty bowl, right? You can't give from an empty bowl. As if you're doing the empty bowl of water, I can't give you any love if my bowl is and my cup is empty. I can't give you anything. So, I mean, you can even hear of partnerships that that will happen with, you know, that they um, they are drawn apart because someone isn't taking care of themselves or they're not loving themselves, right? And it doesn't mean that that's the wrong person, because there are amazing love stories where someone maybe gets addicted to somebody, addicted to somebody. You can be addicted to people, addicted to something, let's say, and then they have that partner that is there for them and pushes them through it. But that partner can only do so much. You know, you cannot change anybody. You can only change yourself, and you can only change your own actions. So even if you are the partner in this partnership that is really trying to be that rock for the person that is not truly loving themselves, do the best you can, but just know, I mean, obviously do the best you can, but like love them unconditionally and tell them that you're there for them, their support, but know that it's really them, it's really that person that can only decide to be healthy, to be loving, to be positive to themselves. So yes, you can be there for someone through thick and thin, and that is true love, I feel that. But know that you cannot love, you can love them, but you can't make them love themselves, right? So, yeah. So, I think that is, maybe I'll pick two more. Woo! This one kind of fell out. They're all kind of saying the same thing, though, I feel like, which is pretty impressive considering, oh, this is fun. Okay. I don't know if you guys, okay, her name is Cordelia. She's telling you to go outside, but I just, at first, she looks like Claire Danes to me. But she is saying, you have been indoors too long, go outside and get some fresh air. Now, this is really important. I have a dog, so I am lucky enough that I have a dog that when I need to go and clear my head, I go on a walk with him. And he is, I think all pets are very in the moment. He is sniffing everything and he is like, this is exciting, we're going, like, I love this, right? And that really brings me into my body and brings me into the moment, because if I can just watch him enjoy the moment, then I can enjoy the moment more. I can feel that fresh air. And just getting your body out there. It's getting a little colder now if you're I'm in the East Coast, I'm in New York, so it's getting a little colder here, but it's really nice out. And especially when you have these jobs or we're at our computers all the time, we don't get out much. And I think it really helps clear your head, and especially when all this stuff is so introspective. Yes, please use this energy to be introspective, but also remind yourself to go out there and enjoy, just enjoy the sun and the fresh air as much as you can, because it really does allow you to rest your mind, right? This is actually Libra. So this is called, this card is called Contract, and it's all about this justice card. How can we balance situations? Maybe there's contracts that you, and then we do have past relationships coming up, right? This Venus in retrograde. So there might be some karmic contracts that are coming up for review, right? And this might not be literally, a lot of us saying before, people are like, oh, your exes are coming back. It doesn't mean actually that they are literally coming back and you're going to be interacting with them directly. It might just be the energy of it. There might be just something about, you could, and then that is just the energy that you are going to deal with, and how like anything, I'm a ball of energy and someone else is a ball of energy. So when we come together, we are coming together to just even for a conversation, to coming up together and being affected by one another, right? That's what I kind of believe astrology is, right? We have our own charts. We're kind of like our own constellation. And then when I meet someone else, I interact with someone else, I'm hitting their astrology, their constellation. And when our energies hit each other, we are being affected, either negatively, positively, or indifferent. So you may notice that you have contracts coming up, karmically, relationship-wise. Maybe there's a contract within yourself. Again, don't feel like, I was talking about this just recently in my divine timing video, in that you might be putting limitations on yourself because you believe this contract should be now, or it should have been last year. Like, remember that just because you want something and you want something at a certain time and you want it to happen in a certain way, it doesn't mean that you are correct. This is why I truly believe that we have this universal energy, God energy, that is there to help us along. I do not know what is best for me. I might be intuitively drawn to something in a positive way, and then I'm like, okay, well, if I'm intuitively drawn to something, then it's probably beneficial for me. I can also be drawn to something that is not good for me and creates a challenge and then gives me a lesson, right? And that is also a different type of contract. Okay, so I am drawn to something so that that I learn and grow as a person. And I think in this Venus in retrograde period, which is what, like 4 or 5 weeks, we really are, 4 or 5 more weeks, we're really allowing ourselves to see this, really be aware of how you interact with people and your work and aspects of your life, right? Because these are contracts. Literally, when you, sometimes when you have a job, you are signing a contract, right? But I believe we're always signing contracts. And this is a time to review those contracts, right? If you were signing a contract, you would say, I need these things in order to be feel balanced with, like, I need to be paid this much, I need to be treated this way, I need to respect you and you need to respect me, those kind of things. So that is something that you would do in like a business contract, right? But that's the same thing in all of our personal contracts too. So this is a great time to review these contracts, balance these contracts in your relationships. And remember, be honest with yourself and remember what is it you truly want, right? And it's all because we're on this path. We're on this path to become a more balanced spiritual person. That is what I mean. So, great. That is what I got for our Venus in retrograde. I will talk to you guys later. I'm going to also post this on my personal profile, and it will also be on my pages right now too. And I hope you guys have a great weekend, and I will talk to you later.